What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com, and in the last Dynasty video, we went through our off-season for Season 4. Fresh off our first national championship, we brought in some more players. We didn't have a whole lot of spots to fill, so it was a short but really sweet recruiting class. And today we're going to go through our Season 5 preseason, which may be the last season here at Duke. My goal since the beginning of this dynasty was to win 2 national championships. Now, a few days ago, I talked about possibly wanting to start a brand new dynasty because I was at a good stopping point. But I think I made the right decision in sticking with Duke for at least one more year because I wanted to complete that goal. And this gives me time to work on some ideas for the new dynasty, somewhere down the road. But today we're going to go look at our schedule. We're going to do some more recruiting. And we're going to look at our current roster, getting ready for hopefully a repeat run. So out of the gate, let's start off with our preseason options, and let's look at our schedule. As usual, I went ahead and made the schedule. We're going to start off the season with a trip to Lubbock, Texas. I wanted to schedule a top 5 team of some sort, and it's been a while since I played them, and they're consistently amazing every single season in this dynasty, so I think it'll be fun to kick off the season against the Red Raiders. Then we're going to have number 23 Northwestern come here. I thought it'd be fun to have a nice top 25 academic rival going on right there. Plus, I just rarely see Northwestern ranked in this game, so I thought it'd be fun to play them. Plus, it's been a while since I played against a Big Ten team. Then after that, we kick off our conference schedule with a trip to NC State, then a trip to number 11 Virginia. Virginia Tech comes here. Then we are heading to number 13 Miami, which has been a really great rivalry for us throughout the dynasty. Then we got Georgia Tech coming home. And then our next non-conference game is taking a trip to Corvallis, Oregon. I wanted to take on Oregon State. This was a tough spot to fill in terms of there wasn't a whole lot of options available, and I wanted to schedule another top 25 team of some sort, but preferably in a conference that I haven't represented yet, and this is a Pac-10 team, so this was a perfect situation, and I can't wait to take them on. That should be a whole lot of fun. And we got Wake Forest going to get back into the conference schedule. They're coming here. We got Maryland at home, and then an open date before we finish the conference season with a trip just across the way against North Carolina. But the season is not over with. We got one more game, and that is Vanderbilt. Everybody remembers, and I completely forgot about it last couple seasons, but what was it, my second season? I took on Vanderbilt, and they beat us badly, and I want to get some revenge on them, but I kept forgetting to add them to the schedule over the last couple years. Either that or I wasn't able to, but now I am definitely able to, and needless to say, I'm ready to take out some sweet revenge on the Commodores. So that is the schedule. I think I have 6 home games, 6 away. Of course, I got a strength of schedule of A+. I think I got 6 ranked teams we're going up against, but I'm also getting to show off different teams from different conferences. You got the SEC, then you got the Pac-10, then you got the Big Ten, and you got the Big 12. So I think it's a really good schedule, and I'm looking forward to getting that started. Now let's look at redshirting players. Now, normally I would, after showing the redshirted part, is to look at the depth chart, but I'm going to skip the depth chart part because I can pretty much talk about who's going to start here. It's pretty obvious who's going to be starting at all of the positions, so we're going to kind of do all of that here. So we're going to start off at quarterback. Now, again, we're at the redshirting phase, but as usual, Justin Gates is our starter. He's a senior, 96 overall, and guess what? He is an impact player. So our offense is going to be throwing the ball a little bit more just because of that fact. But he's got some great bodies behind him. But we can't redshirt anybody because they've already been redshirted. You go to halfback. We got a 3-headed monster again. We got Rudy Miranda, 88 overall. But look how big he is, 252 pounds. Just ridiculous. But then you got Ty Perro, had a great freshman season. And then I'm really excited about this kid right here, Michael Hill. This was a kid that came in with Perro. Both of them are 5-star kids, if I'm not mistaken. And it looks like this guy is ready to rock and roll. And he looks more like a Thornton type. Just a bit of a mix, just a good balanced running back. He's not the fastest in the world, but he's not the biggest either. But I think he's going to be really talented and really excited to see him play. Now, all 3 of these guys can catch the ball halfway decent, so they're going to get their touches through the air as well. Now, in terms of redshirting, I only had one guy in the redshirt. True freshman Craig Cobb's another 5-star kid. We won't need him this season. Now, when it comes to fullback, our starter's going to be Cameron Archie. He is the next Tim Ball, 84 speed. He can catch it fairly well. So we're going to try to get him involved a little bit because the offense isn't going to change a whole lot, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. But there's nobody to redshirt here at fullback. Then you got wide receiver. We got Myrick, Peterson, and McCoy. Now, you noticed a bit of a drop-off in terms of the overall compared to some of the other positions. We had, we got 3 upper 80 level halfbacks. But for wide receiver, we got 1 at 90, 1 at 86, and then you're getting down to the low 80s. So I'm not going to be playing or using a lot of 3 and 4 wide sets this year. I'll have a couple, but I won't be using them as much because you're going to see here in a little bit why 21 and 12 personnel sets are going to be more fitting for our offense this season. But either way, when it comes to redshirting wide receivers, we got Myrick and Peterson. We're not redshirting either one of those. And McCoy is going to be our third guy. I'm still going to have Peterson in the slot. He's just been a good natural fit there. But we got several bodies behind McCoy. Look at this. You got an 82, then you got 80, 80, 80, 78. All 5 of these guys are kind of interchangeable and just in terms of their overall. But I'm going to have McCoy be technically my Z receiver. And in terms of the backups, I got plenty of decent options there in case I need them. But we do have one available redshirt, and that is James Moss. He is our worst wide receiver, but he was available 2 redshirts, so I went ahead and done so. Now when it comes to tight end, we got 2 really good players here. We got Jason Parker, 6'10", 232 pounds. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you the offense is really going to involve him quite a bit. I'm going to try my best to do so. Again, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But having him and then true sophomore Blaine Gay, 6'8", 251 pounds, really excited about both of them. Needless to say, both of them are going to be on the field quite a bit this season. I got to take advantage of their height and their talent in general. Let's look at tackles. This is a perfect situation to be in for a specific position. For me personally, I always like to have a couple freshmen coming in that I can redshirt because we got bodies ahead of them. For tackle specifically, I always like to have 4 active at all times. So, of course, you got Warren starting at right tackle. Then you got Lawrence starting at left tackle. Then you got Clemens going to be our backup at right tackle. And then with Williamson going to be backing up at left tackle. So, again, just a great situation here at the tackle position. Same with guard. I like to have 4 active. And I had 2 freshmen to pick from to redshirt. I went ahead and redshirted Elvis Taylor. He could have started over Cox, but I kind of like Cox starting just because he's a little stronger and he's much smarter. He's just older, and he's a lot bigger too, 6'3", 324 compared to just 286 pounds. So I was okay with redshirt and Tyler. I could have redshirted Madison as well, but again, I like to have 4 active at all times. Then you got center, nothing to really do here. Both of these guys are redshirted, and we definitely know who our starter is, and that is Gavin Simpson, who may be a 99 overall by the time he leaves here. I don't know if we'll get to see that, but anyway, having a sophomore at 91 overall is pretty good to have. Defensive end. Now we're talking about the defensive side of things. Now, I guess this is my strongest position in terms of starters because you got Buttles and Nichols. Of course, they are going to be our starters. I'm not going to redshirt Nichols, but we do have one guy that we can redshirt. I would like to see this kid play more, but, if I win another national title, I'm probably going to move on and start a fresh dynasty. But this is one of the better freshmen I've ever picked up. He was an athlete, if I'm not mistaken. We moved him to defensive end, and he became an 88 overall guy. 82 speed. I mean, he just looks like a future All-American written all over him. I think he's got a really cool name, too. But we don't need him this year, and I only need 4 active guys, so I think we're going to be okay here, so we're going to redshirt him. Now, when it comes to defensive tackles, we had a big loss in Ogabasi. He was our starter for 4 straight seasons, but we're doing okay here. We got Marcus Poland. He's a 95 overall. Then you got Respris at 88. And then we got a junior and a freshman. I went ahead and redshirted the freshman, Jeremy Coleman, because at defensive tackle, again, I only need 4 active players. So I was okay with redshirting him for now. We got plenty of depth here. I think we're going to be okay. Outside linebacker, Jimmy McCoy, arguably the best outside linebacker in the country. Of course, we're not going to redshirt him, but look at the bodies we got behind him. We've recruited very well, and Thornton has been a starter for us for a couple of seasons. But between him and McKinney, I think I may end up still starting Thornton. I like his strength a little bit better. And at the tackle position, or tackle rating-wise, McKinney's just a little bit better, but they are identical just in terms of their talent. Yes, I could start McKinney. I think I'm good either way there. We may play both somewhere down the line. We'll see. But I was able to redshirt one guy, true freshman Eric Baker. Again, you're going to see a pattern. You're not going to see hardly any freshmen play this year because we just don't need them to. We got so much good depth everywhere. Middle linebacker, we got a ton of bodies here. And as you can see, I have redshirted every single freshman or newcomer that we picked up. For example, Eddie Reese, that guy looks like a prototypical defensive end. Will we get to see him play ever? I doubt it. I'm not really sure. But either way, we've redshirted all them. But in terms of our starter, Joey Walker, 95 overall. Then we got Williams and Mason behind him. And what was funny is Mason was our first starting middle linebacker in our, second season. He was like my number one middle linebacker I picked up in that first recruiting class. But it's Walker who's really stepped up. I mean, his training has gone really well, and it's obvious that he needs to be the starter. Then you got quarterback. We got 5 guys. I only need 4 active. That's why I've redshirted Marcus College. Again, true freshman. We really just don't need them. But our starters, Butler and Gunn, they've been the bookends in our secondary for, 3 seasons now? Or this is going to be the 3rd season. But Buchanan's going to be my nickelback. I like his speed right there. It was either him or Todd. 82 or 78 overall. Buchanan's just a little bit better. His awareness isn't as good, but he can really jump, and that's a big deal for me playing corner, guys who can jump up and swat the ball and such. So I'm really excited about this group right here. Then you got free safety, another perfect situation to be in. We got a veteran in Ashley Brown with another veteran behind him, and Joe Allen, and we got a true freshman that we can redshirt. Just, again, a great situation. Then you got strong safety. We didn't have to redshirt anybody here. Everybody is already redshirt, but it is obvious our starter is going to be Gallagher. He's just a little bit better. His speed isn't as good, but it's awareness. I always control the free safety, so I need somebody who's super smart on the other end. So I'm perfectly fine with starting Gallagher. Now, when it comes to kicker, Surgan, he's a redshirt senior. Hopefully, we'll end this dynasty with a bang, and he'll be the only kicker I'll ever have to recruit more or less in this dynasty. Then the same with this punter, senior Danny Hood. We got one guy, but he's a pretty good one. Really excited about that. So if you look at our roster in general, we just got a ton of great talent. The only stipulation I had, or house rule recruiting-wise, was I wanted to get only smart players, and it seems to have worked out over the years, which has been really good. But again, just been really good recruiting, but I have some really cool ideas for recruiting in future dynasties, which we'll cover somewhere on down the road. Now let's look at Athlon Sports, the preseason magazine. I'm really excited to see where everybody's at here. We're going to start off with preseason polls, and of course they got us number 1 in the country. Are we the only A-plus overall team? No, it's us and Texas. Then we got a bunch of A, so that's not a big discrepancy between A-plus and A. But you look at the offense, you got your A's, your A-minus. We are a B-plus on offense, but it's the defense. Everybody knows our biggest strength is our defense, and we got arguably the best defensive group in the country. Looks like Ohio State's really loaded for bear there as well. Then you got special teams at A. Pretty good. So just, again, overall, exceptionally talented across the board, and I'm really excited to start Season 5 as the number 1 team in the country. Now we can go over to Heisman Watch. I don't know who's going to be on here. This should be interesting. Looks like Oregon State quarterback's at the top of the list, which is cool because we're going to face him midway through the season. Then you got a quarterback out of Texas, then Bowling Green quarterback, a quarterback out of Cal, and look at this, a wide receiver out of Oregon State. So we'll see if these two guys stay on the list by the time we face the Beavers. Now let's go over to the All-American list. I don't know if we'll have many people on here. Now I'm just going to pay attention to us. Some of them, like, again, Texas Tech has got a bunch of players on here, which is pretty cool, but I want to see where we're going to be. We don't have any first-teamers. Do we have any second-teamers? I am not seeing that, which is fine. That'll change, hopefully, by the end of the season. Now let's look at the All-ACC preseason team. We lost a lot of players, apparently. I guess they just not going to show us a whole lot of love. Look at that. We're the number 1 team in the country, and we don't have a single first-team all-conference player. That is not discouraging, but I don't know. It's a little upsetting that they don't think that highly of us. That's okay. That will change. Second team. Well, finally, we got some players on here. You got Ty Parrott. You got Peterson. We got anybody else? We got a guard, and Michael Jackson. We got Kevin Nichols. So a bunch of second teamers. Look at this. Pretty much our entire secondary, our second team. Then we got a kicker. That's okay. I'm fine with having a bunch of second teamers. Hopefully we're going to end up with a bunch of guys on this list by the end of the year. Now let's go to conference outlook. Not going to be a whole lot to see here. They're going to have us number one in the conference, and we're going to have us number one in our division. I'm curious about the division. They got Virginia, Miami, Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech, North Carolina. So again, Virginia and Miami and Georgia Tech, those are the ones where we're going to have to pay attention to, especially these two right here. Those have been some epic battles against those two teams for sure. Toughest places to play, there's really nothing to see here. This thing doesn't change hardly ever. I've never been able to take a team that was out of the top 25 and put them in here. So I never really pay much attention to this. So now all that's really left, for the most part, is recruiting. Now let's go into in-season recruiting, and let's look at our team overview. We got 15 spots to fill, and it looks like we need a quarterback, we need a defensive tackle, and an outside linebacker. So we're going to focus on those. Now, what I'll probably end up doing is just really hone in on 3 guys, but I'm going to fill up these 12 spots. So that's something to keep in mind. So I'm going to keep it, pretty simple. Now, yes, I'm the number 1 team in the country. I should be able to go after whoever I want. But for regular season, I like to go after pipeline kids and players that just fit what we're looking for, which makes sense. So let's go ahead and look for our pipelines. I assume we will have California as one, so we'll definitely check that out a little bit later. We should have Florida as one, and we still got Georgia as a pipeline. Both of them have helped us throughout the Dynasty. We can keep going. Of course, they are going to show North Carolina. If we can get to it. Yes, there's North Carolina. Again, look, North Carolina, look at the red bar on the right. It's just really loaded for bear in terms of a lot of players to go after, which is good to see. Let's keep going. That may be all of them. Nope, we got Tennessee. I completely forgot about the Volunteer State. We got some players to look at here. Then you got Texas. It's still a pipeline, which I find pretty funny. But we're going to check that one out as well. And I think that's it. That's a lot of pipeline states. That's maybe the most I've ever had in a Dynasty, and I can't tell you how long. So what we're going to do is, instead of going state by state, I probably will just go position by position. And I think that'll be a little bit quicker that way. So let's just go to quarterback. And out of the gate, arguably the best quarterback, Danny Huff. He's a pocket passer out of Texas. I want to keep looking. I will probably get a pocket passer. That's just kind of the way our offense is set up. I don't think this is really going to matter. We probably won't ever see these kids play. But here's a quarterback out of Texas, dual threat I wouldn't mind looking at. If he's got a decent arm, I'd love to go after him. So let's go ahead and put a scholarship on him. Now, his field awareness is A. I want to go after the really smart kids if I can. And just want to make sure some of these other 4 stars, I'm not missing anything. You're like, here's a kid out of Virginia, A+. A lot of 4-star quarterbacks in this group. That's pretty impressive. I'm looking for like real freak athlete type guys, or just really goofy looking ones. I'm talking like 6'6", or really short guys, just oblong looking. I'm going to go ahead and take a chance on this Danny Huff kid. He's apparently the top quarterback on the list. So let's go ahead and put one of him. So that's 2 scholarships for quarterbacks. What we can do is fullback, wide receiver, tight end. I wouldn't mind looking at another tight end. We've had a lot of bad luck in the regular season looking for tight ends. If I'm not mistaken, maybe Gay was a tight end that we got in the regular season. I don't really remember. But I want to see if we have a chance somewhere. Now, here's one kid, 6'3", 245. He's a pipeline kid, Jonathan Morton. The speed isn't all that great, and his awareness isn't all that good. So that doesn't really excite me. What about this kid right here, 4'8", I don't need the fastest guy, but I'd like to have somebody who can really do some damage, and I want somebody who's smart as well. Here's another pipeline kid. We can go ahead and never get down to the 3-star. Well, this is interesting. This kid right here, he's a super slow. I can't go after him. But the 6'7", 252 pounds, that is an absolute load. Bunch of other blocking tight ends as well. I want somebody who is balanced or who can really catch. Of course, we can't tell if anybody can catch from here. I'm going to go after a really smart kid. Let's go and take a chance on 4'8", that's just too slow. He's out of California. I may Florida kid, 255. I need somebody a little bit faster than that. So I'm going to go ahead and just do we'll go after this kid out of Tennessee, and that'll be it. Tackle, we're kind of fine there. We're kind of fine at guard. We're kind of fine at center. Defensive end, we're always moving somebody down. Defensive tackle is super important, so let's go straight to defensive tackle. We got a kid out of California, 6'4", 290. I wish he was a little bit heavier, but that's okay. I really want somebody who is super strong, like this kid right here out of Indiana. I probably won't go after him, but we'll go after McCray. Might as well. Kid out of South Carolina, probably need to look at. Looks like he's no different than McCray. Like they're literally the exact same player. Same height, weight, bench, squat, everything. I'm going to go ahead and put one on him. 5'11", 289. We can keep going. What about this B? 6'5", 285, kid out of Florida. That's okay, but a 605 squat is super low. I mean, that's just really low. We need to find somebody who's like super strong. Strength is just a big deal at this position. I'm not really seeing it. I'm seeing like 640 is like the best we can do. So that may be all I go after there, unless I can find somebody else. Like here's a 6'5" or 655 squat that's really good, but he's a C+ in the awareness. So I'm not going to bother there. 670, that kid out of Illinois. Like this guy looks the part, other than he's a little short and he's not very heavy. And again, the kid out of Indiana. I don't know. I'm not really excited about any of those outside of that one. Again, I kind of want to stick to pipelines just for regular season purposes, which I'm okay with. 640, 5'11", 280. I'm just not really feeling it with any of these guys. So I think I may leave that as is. Outside linebacker, we need some help here. I'm looking at these guys with awareness. South Carolina, Pennsylvania, Oklahoma. This kid right here, I really want to go after. That's a rare size for an outside linebacker. And that's local. I know that's not a pipeline, but that's just right down the road. So he's out of Welcome, South Carolina. We're going to look at him. Let's look at this kid out of Michigan. A little too far off. I'm okay not going after him. Another Michigan kid. Alabama, New York, and you get down to the 3-star kids. That's kind of it. I think I may leave that as is. Nobody else really excited me there. Middle linebacker, we really don't need. And corner, free safety, we're kind of fine in free. It's a free safety that we got all the seniors, or we got a bunch of seniors at strong safety. Unless we find a free safety that's super fast, I may go after. Speed is the number one thing I really care about. I'm not seeing any super fast guys until you get up to the very top here. So we'll probably go after the kid out of California. We'll go after him. Strong safety, we're kind of fine there. So I think of what I may do. I got 5 spots to fill. So let me just go back and look at some other guys. Halfback, we're fine there for quite a while, so I'm not going to bother looking there. Fullback, I normally don't like going after fullbacks in the regular season, especially in this offense where it's not super crucial. And plus, you look at all their awarenesses. Not one single smart fullback in the bunch, which is kind of weird. Look, go to wide receiver. We got 6 guys. Now, we got here this one kid. Look at this guy. 6'7", 232 pounds. Marcus Weeks. He's a pipeline kid, even though it's across the country. But he looks like just an absolute... He looks like Megatron. So I'm going to go ahead and put one on him. Why not? The rest of these, I'm not seeing all that good awareness. We got some Bs, but that's about it. Let me look at these other Bs before I just move on to another position. Kid out of Texas, 4'39", Joe Walden. And again, we got 6 wide receivers. We got a bunch of young guys. So I think I may leave that as is. But a tight end, I may go back and look at somebody else. If they got amazing catch, I don't mind going after him. Like Andre Bates. Let me see if I can find somebody a little more local. Kid out of... Let's try Josh Penn. If he's got great hands, then, yeah, I may take a chance on him. We are down to, what, 3 scholarships? I don't have to use them all. But I don't... I mean, you have no reason not to, if that makes sense. You don't lose anything by doing, by only going after 5 or 6 guys. You might as well go ahead and put scholarships on 12 guys if you can. Big tackle, 6'6", 326 pounds. This could be a future Warren. He could be a future right tackle. I like his size. His 690, that's pretty impressive on the squat. I always pay attention to the squat a little bit more than bench. 690, 6'9", just a bunch of other good dudes. But I want to disperse my positions a little bit. Let's look at the guards. Let's look at a center. Let me go here. Kid out of Florida, 670. Yeah, let's just go after him. Pipeline kid, he's smart. Arguably the strongest dude of the bunch. Now, these guys look exactly the same as well. So we got one more scholarship to fill out, so let's go ahead and quickly find somebody. Let's go after another quarterback. How about that? I don't mind going after one more. Let's see if we can find one that really fits what we're looking for. We're going after that kid out of Texas. Here's this Virginia kid, Derek Alford. He's smart, and that's local. I've always tried to wanted to turn Virginia to a pipeline, but it never worked out. Let's just go take a chance on him. I like what I see out of all that there. Hopefully he can throw the ball halfway decent. All right, so that concludes our recruiting. So what we're going to do now is we're going to actually look at distributing some of our points. Here are the 12 guys we are looking at. I'm going to go after 3 or 4, maybe at the most. I'm hoping just for 3. So the first thing I want to do first is we're going to look at every single one to see if we find a positive pitch. That gives us a pretty good indicator that we got a really good chance of getting him. So far, it's not looking too good, which is no big deal. Again, I got 15 spots to fill. I'm happy with just going after about 3 guys. That gives me plenty of spots for the off-season, which I should have no problem filling. Now, I don't see a whole lot of guys super interested in outside of this center. He seems a little bit high on the list, but I'm not really worried about where they're located on the list. When you're going to dump 33 points on a kid, it doesn't really matter too much. So I'm going to go back up to the very top. First thing I want to do is pick a quarterback. I don't need 2 or 3. I'm just going to pick one. Let's start off with this Danny Huff. Now, A+ on the strength, B+ on the accuracy, all that looks pretty good. And this was considered the top quarterback in this group. So I may go after him, but let's look at a few other ones. Next up is Derek Alford. This is a B and a B, not as good as an arm. And he's not super fast either. So the kid out of Texas seems a little bit better. But I'm going to look at this kid right here. It's so unfortunate. His accuracy is a D+, which is absolutely awful. So what we're going to do, we're going to pick Danny Huff as our quarterback of the future, which will we see him ever play? Probably not, but that's okay. We're going to do 33 on him for now. Next thing I want to do is pick a defensive tackle. I know that was a bit of an importance. Justin McCray, we already knew pretty much everything about him from what we see right here. 465, 640. 465, 640, and we got another defense tackle we're going after. Or is that just those 2? We need one of them. So either McCray or Brian Westerman. Both of them look exactly the same. Like it's the exact same player. So let's go. Like it's literally the exact same player. I know I'm saying that several times, but if you notice, the 40 times the same vertical. It's the exact same created player. That's pretty much what I'm getting at. It doesn't really matter which one we go after. Let's go after the kid out of South Carolina just because it's closer. I'm okay with that. So the last guy I'm going to put points on, we'll just pick. I'm going to check the next available really good one, unless there's an outside linebacker that I really like. Now, I only picked one. I should have recruited another guy. Let's look at this outside linebacker, Anthony Wilson. Yes, I really like everything I'm seeing right here. He's humongous, so he could be a defensive end down the road. But I like he's local, even though he's not a pipeline kid, which is fine. But he's pretty fast, 4.52. It's kind of hard to find super fast guys at that position. So I'm either going to go after him, or I want to look at this Megatron guy. I mean, look at this kid. This kid is just an absolute freak of nature. So I think what I may do is do 25 across the board. How about that? So what we're going to do, we're going to go 25. We're going to go after 4 guys instead. How about that? We're going to go 25. We're going to go 25. And we're going to go 25 all the way across the board there. So we'll go after these 4 players. I think that's a nice little group there to really focus on. A defensive tackle, a quarterback, an outside linebacker. All 3 of those are needs. And just a freak athlete, a wide receiver. Should be a whole lot of fun. Before I let you go, I want to briefly talk about the offense for the upcoming season. Now, I'm going to use my master playbook file going forward, which I'm really excited about. So you're going to see a bunch of whole new plays, better plays used by me and by the CPU, which is going to be really exciting and interesting to see. Now, big picture-wise, I'm still running a pro-style offense. Not a whole lot's going to change there. But I do want to show you some of the new stuff in terms of I'm going actually beyond version 1 of my playbook file. I'm actually doing some version 2 stuff along with other plays I'm still testing out that's not part of either one, which is going to be pretty neat. Now, first of all, let's just talk about the formations. Not a whole lot has changed from last season. Ace big twins, I did add back ace normal, ace slot, I twins, and then you got a bunch of gun sets. 2-back slot, normal, wide trips, spread, and trips. But I want to start off with a few different things. For example, you go to ace normal. I added back ace normal because we got a couple decent tight ends. But just a quick example, the 14 ISO. Now, later down the road, I can explain why I called it as such. But it's plays like this that I'm tinkering with. That's not part of version 1 of my playbook file, nor is it part of version 2. This is a separate playbook I'm using just for this season. And this may eventually go into version 2. But the biggest thing is I didn't want to override plays that I updated in version 1. I didn't want to get you confused with some of that, if that makes sense. But anyway, I'm really excited about plays like that. Then you got, let's go to I twins. I'm really excited about this. I got a couple really cool, simple play action concepts, PA tight end flat and PA fullback flat. Really good man beaters, good zone beaters as well. Should be a whole lot of fun seeing them being used, especially like in the red zone and such. And of course, I have, again, this is worked off of version 1 of my playbook file. Halfback read has been fixed, and halfback counter has been fixed, and so on and so forth. A couple of other things go like the gun normal. 4 ISO on the left and 1 ISO on the right. These are plays that are not part of version 1 nor a part of version 2. I may put them in version 2. We'll just see what happens with that. But again, these are plays I'm still tinkering with, but I'm excited to unleash them. I hope that they will be very beneficial to me this season. Really excited about those concepts specifically. A couple of other things. I'm really excited to start using some air raid stuff. You're going to see a little bit of, Y stick. You're going to see some Y corner. Some new RPOs like Rip Ohio. And I love this halfback screenplay on the left. Just really exciting stuff. Gun spread. I know I didn't tinker with too much with this one. I think everything you see here is in version 1. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, I don't think I changed a whole lot here in terms of for this specific team. But again, Y stick, really excited about that. And I'm really excited especially about halfback dive from the gun. I finally can attack between the tackles from the gun. I'm really excited to start doing some of that. It's going to be really neat. I'm super excited about all that. So I just wanted to show you all that and just give you a little bit of a hype video, more or less, of what some new things you're going to see. And in time, I will get version 2 of my playbook file updated. It just depends on some of these new plays that I've been testing out. Okay, hopefully you enjoyed on this. Now, in the next video, we're going to take on Texas Tech to kick off the season. It's going to be a top 5 matchup. Should be a lot of fun. They're going to get to play a little with some air raid concepts because I think they have gun spread in their playbook, and they're going to get to use Y stick. You're going to actually see Texas Tech run a little air raid along with a little bit of me as well. Should be a lot of fun. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.